Hello and welcome to another episode of the Movie Review Show on Blades Boy Videos. This is the show where I watch all the latest, hottest movies to come out every weekend, come back here, lay it on tape and put it out on YouTube for you to watch. So, this weekend I watched The Finest Hours and How to Be Single. My name is Roagan, let's get started. So, The Finest Hours was directed by Craig Gillespie, who also directed Fright Night and $1 Million Arm. It stars Chris Pine, who you'll know from Star Trek and Unstoppable, and Casey Affleck, who you may know from The Assassination of Jesse James and Out of the Furnace. It's a true story which follows the events of a daring and almost impossible rescue attempt by the Coast Guard in 1952. When a blizzard hits the coast of Cape Cod, a pair of tankers are destroyed. The tanker which we follow is literally split in half. The movie shows the rescue attempt of 4 Coast Guard members in a small lifeboat and the story of over 30 men desperately trying to stay afloat to buy time for their rescue that they have no guarantees is going to make it. The cinematography in this movie, particularly outdoors, is brilliant. It shows a great depiction of 1950s America. It shows there are a lot of great wide angle shots, and then as we go more into the sea, the cinematography shows the terrifying anger and ferocity of the water. I think the film was shot extraordinarily well. The score was also beautiful. It serviced the movie perfectly. For where it wanted to go, where it wanted to be, it drew me into those moments of despair or hope or just sheer luck. There's a part of the coast where the outgoing tide hits the ingoing tide, and at that point it is like suicide to cross, especially on a blizzard like today. That part is called The Bar. How that was shot, how they attacked it, it was mesmerising. For those scenes, I was in it completely, 100%. It had my attention. The rescue attempt is an extraordinary feat, and both Pine and Affleck are the type of characters where they have a divine sense of intuition. Casey Affleck for the boat, and Chris Pine for the waters. Although both of these characters start off as secondary in command, they quickly show their intuition and become the pillars for which the rest of the men survive on. My problems with the film is I didn't really resonate with the characters. They didn't seem to have a level of depth. They're both introvert, and they play that well, and I quite like that. I myself am introvert. But I didn't believe for a start, I didn't believe the romance, and they both played the characters very awkward, which drew me out of the dialogue scenes quite a lot. I love the cinematography scenes, I love the scenes in the water, I love the great shots that this movie has, but when it came to the dialogue and the characters of the main 2 actors in the movie, who are fabulous actors, I am a big fan of both Chris Pine and Casey Affleck, but I just didn't buy them in this movie, which is quite upsetting, because otherwise this movie I think would have been a much higher rating than I give it. The story was also very slow, especially in the first act. Now, there's a difference because this is a true story, so you have to hit the same beats that happened in real life. Obviously what is shot, what is said, doesn't have to be 100% accurate, but I feel the pacing of the movie needs to be, and that's unfortunate. For me, I would have cut down a lot of the opening scenes. I would have probably had Chris Pine already in a relationship rather than going into a relationship, and I would have focused more on the character development of fewer cast members, just so we could get that connection, that intimacy. The scenes on the boat, there are a lot of people on the boat that I thought had a hell of a lot more charisma than our lead character. Now that's probably by intention, because as I said before, he's very introvert. The character played by Casey Affleck. But I didn't buy it like I wanted to. I didn't buy his character like I wanted to. Though I do feel that Casey in particular did a very good job with this movie. I just didn't buy the character or his development through the movie, though he does have some really good scenes. So this movie has great moments and it has, for me, some weak moments. Overall, I'm going to give it a very respectable 7 out of 10. Rewatchability, I'll probably watch this in about 2 years' time. When I'm flicking through the TV and I see it on, I'll watch it more for the water scenes and the cinematography. Great, so on to the next film. How to be single. Firstly, I just want to explain my awkward atmosphere within the movie. So I'm sat there, you know, the trailers are starting, it's just before the film. I look around to the right, left, up to the back, down below. I'm pretty much in the middle of the theatre, and all I see is women. Groups and what appear to be gangs of women, with me sat in the middle. I like to watch a movie on my own, I don't have a problem with it. I think when you watch a movie in the theatre, ultimately, you do watch it on your own. So I don't know why there's a stigma of, oh, I need to go with my friends. Not for me. I can just sit there happily and watch it on my own. So, yeah, that was quite awkward, I must admit. On to the film. It's directed by Christian Ditter, who directed Love, Rosie and The Crocodiles. I haven't seen either of those movies. It stars Dakota Johnson, who you'll recognise from 50 Shades of Grey, Black Mass and 21 Jump Street. It also stars Rebel Wilson, who you'll know from Bridesmaids and Pitch Perfect 1 and 2, and Leslie Mann, who you'll know from 40-Year-Old Virgin, This Is 40 and 17 Again. The story follows a bunch of individual single girls, Alice, Robin, Lucy and Meg, as they try to learn what it means to be single, like the title suggests. The stories become intertwined by circumstances and location, and ultimately they all learn their individuality and their own personal definition of love. There's no real story or plot. It's more a movie that follows characters as they develop. It's a character development story without much character. The jokes are very few and far between. There are times when I laughed, though I expected to laugh more. About maybe 15-20 minutes in, the thought started to go through my head. Should I walk out? Should I leave? Because there was nothing for me, and I didn't really feel that there was any great feat of cinematography or story or character or acting, or there was nothing there that grasped me. Now, I made a promise to myself this year. I'm only going to walk out of one movie, just the one. Did this one deserve to be my one? 15 minutes in? Yeah, I personally think I should have walked out. Now, as we got half an hour in to an hour, once we hit the hour point, I was really considering it, and the only reason that I stayed was I thought there can only be 20 minutes or so of this movie left. And I think I was about halfway through it at that time. As soon as the credits came, I shot straight out. I really lost interest in this movie in the first 15 minutes, and I'm glad that I still have my opportunity to walk out of a movie, but I think this one is deserving of that. I've seen this movie 1,000 times. You could give me any Valentine's Day, New Year's Day type title, and pretty much it's the same plot, different characters, different actors, same situation-based story. There's one scene that really stuck out to me, and that's because I'm a new father and I was there at my son's childbirth, and I've created a really strong bond with my son. And that's the scene involving Leslie Mann, and she's a doctor who is like a midwifery doctor. She delivers babies, but she never wanted a baby of her own. And there's one woman that really needs a toilet, and she hands her a baby, and she's like, oh, I'm not good with babies, and she sits it down, and the baby is absolutely delightful, big blue eyes, and stares and giggles at her, and makes her broody for the first time, and that scene resonated with me. Leslie Mann did a fantastic job. I think she's a great actress. That's the standout scene for me, and it's the only one. I can't name another. Apart from a few chuckles every now and again. There's no real great story. I wouldn't recommend this really. Maybe if you're with a group of girls, like everybody else bar me in the movie theatre, go watch it, it'll be fun. And maybe if you really like romantic comedies, this one could be for you. For me, I give it a 4 out of 10, which is my lowest rating so far. And I don't want to rewatch it. I wouldn't. If I was flicking through TV and it came on, I'd probably leave the room and find an excuse to come and shoot a video. So, that's the review show today. They're the 2 movies that I saw. Please subscribe to this video if you like what you've seen. Also like, and please do comment. Maybe you absolutely love To Be Held a Single and you loved it because of this way, and you can help build my horizon on romantic comedies. That would be absolutely awesome. So please leave a comment. Also with Finest Hours. Did you see Finest Hours? Did you think the cinematography was great? Did you think that the characters did have depth? And you resonated with them beautifully? And if that's the case, comment below, let me know how. Let's build discussions. So, like I said, this is the Movie Review Show. Catch me next week for more reviews. I'm Rogan. You've been awesome. I hope I've been awesome. Thanks for watching. And until next time, keep it real.